Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And boy, oh boy, do we have a very interesting episode for you guys here today. So make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, we just recently produced a show where we were covering an article that was published by Outkick.com. And in that article, Outkick basically highlighted the fact that ESPN subscription, their subscribers are down 10%, since 2021, and they've lost about 8 million users, and now I think they're down to 75 million users. That's what basically that article was talking about. We read the article, and basically, in the second half of that show that we produced, I was basically trying to come up with reasons I thought that could be happening. One of the reasons I gave was I thought that ESPN was probably sending mixed signals with, now talking about politics and sports. Maybe that's something that turned off a lot of people, causing them to lose 8 million subscribers over that time frame. I said that could be one thing. Another thing I said could be is that probably now they're putting out guys like Bobby Marks and others who are just out there. A lot of their TV on-air TV talent, these guys are just out there saying things for shock value. And over time, maybe people are getting tired of that. Maybe, in the beginning it's nice, but after a while, people begin to see through that and they get turned off from it. And I think that, and I said that maybe people are looking for alternative sources of news to get their sporting fix, right? That was one thing. And the final thing I brought up was this. I said that it could be that ESPN doesn't have a good feedback system to understand what their viewers really, really think about their content, and all they're looking at is ratings and the amount of money that they're making. So today, what happened, I was watching a segment from Max Kellerman, Max, Keyshawn, and Jay or something like that, their show on ESPN. And during the beginning of the discussion, Max Kellerman was responding to some things that Jay Williams said about him regarding as it pertained to the the Draymond Green podcast. But in his response, Max Kellerman, in my opinion, I think exposes the real reason ESPN may be on the decline. But before we get into that audio, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So let's get into the audio of Max Kellerman essentially explaining why ESPN could possibly be experiencing a decline. Take a listen to that.
Guys, speaking of the 80s, Draymond Green says the 2017 Warriors, or the 90s even, would beat Michael Jordan and the 98 Bulls. He said, quote, "I'm watching the 98 Bulls versus Utah in the finals. I can't help but to notice that our 2017 team, that would be the team with KD, would have beaten these Bulls by a dub and these Jazz by 40 if they're going to play these brands of basketball. And that's why it's dumb to compare eras." By the way, in my opinion, he's absolutely right. Of course, if you simply plucked one team out of a previous era, they would get killed by a modern team because the modern team is built upon what they've learned and have added new things.
But wait,
but that's not how you do it.
Can I have a question, though?
Yeah.
I thought Draymond was new media. Why is new media discussing old media tactics?
Because he's smart. Look at this. We're talking about him. Draymond Green's
I'm not talking about it.
He's new. What? Yes, you were talking about it right now.
I'm just saying, but he's new media. So this is what old media discusses. Why isn't new media thinking about what's forward thinking? What's futuristic?
Jay, dough is dough. Ratings are ratings. Clicks are clicks. Eyeballs are eyeballs. Right now on
Max,
ESPN,
the point is,
on the screen,
Max,
it says Draymond Green speaks, and we're talking all about him and his podcast.
See where it is, Max. My point is, it's hypocritical.
So you heard what Max Kellerman essentially had to say. He said to Jay, Jay, we're talking about it. He said, money is money. What is it? Ratings are ratings. Clicks are clicks. Views are views. And I think, those statements by Max Kellerman perfectly encapsulate the reason I personally believe that ESPN is losing some of its followers. This is what I personally believe. I said it in the previous show. ESPN and these networks don't have enough feedback systems that tell them exactly what people think. We've done videos, we've produced shows on Nelson's rating and how it really works. They're looking at they're looking at a totally different set of data points. They're looking at demographics. They're looking at race. They're looking at the time of the day that you're watching. They're looking at the sex, whether it's male or female. Those are the things that they're really looking at. And then ESPN then takes those numbers to their sponsors and says, okay, these are the demographics, and then they negotiate whatever it is they negotiate. And obviously, you guys know that on TV it's a totally different system. They negotiate per viewer. Whereas, for example, on YouTube, they negotiate per 1,000 viewers. So it's a totally different model. And it's one of the reasons why those guys on TV make so much money. It doesn't really mean that they're that much better than you. It just means that that's the model that they operate under, right? TV is a totally different thing. And some shows, they can make a ton of money depending on how much they're willing to charge. Depending on how much they're willing to charge advertisers, and also what audience demographic they have. A coveted audience demographic, a really coveted one, I think, is the ages between 18 and 34, 40, 44, something like that, and male, right? That brings in a ton of money. And I think that's the audience that ESPN is basically cornered. So that's the first thing. Whereas if you take YouTube, for example, the feedback system, in my personal opinion, I believe is much more sophisticated, and I'll tell you why. And I think it's more useful to the creator creating content, and it gives them more information for them to interpret in order to understand what the best content is. I'll give you guys an example of what I mean. You can see a video on YouTube. That video can have 10 million views, right? That's one measurement of the success of that video, which is the views. Unfortunately, some people on YouTube only judge the success of the content that they produce based on the views, but that's just one measure. And it's the same measure that these guys are using on TV: ratings, the amount of people that are watching it at a given time, in a given time frame. Anyway, so you get views, right? That's one way of measuring the performance of a video. The second way you measure the performance, and it was a real game changer in the social media, in the advent of social media, which is the like button. That was a huge button. The like button, the tag button, especially in Facebook, but the like button, the like and dislike button is another tool that viewers can use to give feedback to that creator on exactly how they think about the video. So now you have views and you have likes versus dislikes. With the third one, you have you have the comment section. The comment section is really where you get a sense of what people actually think. And YouTube has created an algorithm that really works off of that, right? If they see people are engaging with the video, they're watching it for a certain amount of time, they're leaving comments, they're leaving likes. Usually how it works is that they're then going to recommend that video. But on TV, they don't have that. You may have people watching a show, but you really don't know how they feel about what you're saying. And I think therein lies the problem with networks, with these big, these multinational, these massive companies, right? Where you're in a situation in which you're only judging the performance of your show based on those, how many people watch, and these very little, data points. Whereas on YouTube and social media, you have more information, and I think that's where the problem is, because these guys are, they're putting out these shows, and because people are watching, they think that people are enjoying it, but what they don't realize is that people really dislike what they're seeing. That's the problem. Just because people are watching, it doesn't necessarily mean your content is good. Surprise, surprise. And that's what ESPN is beginning to learn. They may be getting viewers coming in droves to watch some of their other shows, but then they're losing subscribers. These are paying, these are paying customers that pay every single month, $10 a month for their ESPN Plus and all their live streaming services. And I think another thing that could be harming them, number one, is their attitude towards their viewers. They don't really seem to care what their viewers and their audience really thinks, in my personal opinion. And secondly, I think people now have more options. You're not limited to just watching their shows. Google is the number one search engine in the world. The second largest search engine is YouTube, right? So people are now consuming more content on the internet, and people have more options, and they can consume live streaming content for free. If somebody goes live on their channel, you don't have to pay for that. You can just watch it for free. YouTube is a free service, right? So I think Max Kellerman's comments exposes, dare I say, the hubris in these big companies like ESPN, where they're just really looking at, the superficial numbers, how many people are watching and how much money we're making, instead of really creating tools to to get a sense of the temperature in the room of what people really think about the things that they're saying, right? So that's my opinion on that. And what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about what Max Kellerman had to say, and what do you think about the points that I put forward? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.